Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is your girl, Dayna Patreace, aka the Black Fairy, and I am here with another YouTube video. That's right. Today, I want to talk to you guys about what it was like for me meeting my inner being for the first time. I've talked about meditation, I've talked about chanting, but today I want to talk about what it was like for me to connect personally with my inner being for what I feel like was the very first time. Okay, we're going to get into it. I'm going to share this with you. But before I do, if you could please just like, share, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell so you don't miss any new content. Yeah, let's just get into it.
Yes, I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.
All right, you guys. So, like I said, I want to talk to you guys about meeting my inner being for the first time. Now, when I started on this journey, and I started this journey of self-discovery, I stepped out of Christianity, and I was really trying to find myself, like, what do I believe, right? A lot of rhetoric about the inner being, about your inner self, higher self, whatever you refer to it as, that source energy part of yourself. I heard a lot about it, and I was just like, that inner voice, the description of it was various, and this is not about that. But the point is, I was really intrigued, so I began to do some recommended things to connect with self, meditations, guided and non-guided, binaural beats to elevate and allow myself to utilize the frequency to connect better. Simply asking for signs and communication from my inner being to affirm and reaffirm, what it is I was trying to see, what it is I was trying to do, if I was on the right path, if I was doing the right things, which now I know it's like there is no wrong thing per se. But that's how it began. Now, I came across this particular guided meditation that completely changed my life. I'm going to see if I can find it, but honestly, it was so long ago, I highly doubt that I will. But check the description box, check the comment sections, and see if I were able to produce and manifest a miracle by finding this, almost 15-year-old guided meditation. Now, about this meditation, why it was so special, it was because it was the first time that I actually, in my visualization, saw myself as a higher being. So this was quite special. Other meditations, I was seeing lights, I was seeing figures, but this guided meditation really had you see and visualize things quite differently. It started off by, allowing yourself to relax and breathe and enter into that real meditative space where your mind is quiet and your heart is open. It continued on to have my guardian angel with me. Hold on a second. But it changed to be, then asked me to then imagine, and I'm standing there with my guardian angel. I remember it was some sort of door or some sort of portal we were walking through, and my guardian angel was to be my guide. So we walked through this door, portal, whatever it was, and there's this beautiful, beautiful garden. I mean, we're walking through this gorgeous garden. There are trees everywhere, butterflies, gorgeous fields of flower, and a bright pathway that we're walking down. Right? I'm seeing deer, I'm seeing animals. In this visualization, the sun is shining, and I'm imagining all of this as I'm being guided to, right? So we get to this beautiful tree, and I envisioned a willow tree. I'm obsessed with willow trees. I don't know, maybe it's, the movie Pocahontas that put it in my mind, but I see this beautiful willow tree. And I go and I sit under it, my angel beside me, and I plant myself in the ground, and as I plant myself, into the ground. I begin to sow my seeds and pretty much allow myself to take root under this tree. I'm envisioning roots going down into the ground. I'm connecting with the tree. I'm connecting with nature. I'm connecting in this portal. And I start to release certain things, right? They ask you to start releasing certain things, certain vibrations, things that no longer serve you, right? After that, I was then transferred over to go in my mind space and to go back to my Akashic records, right? So in front of me, there's this wall that is supposed to represent the Akashic records or the records of your past lives. And across this wall is all these different pictures. I'm talking about at least, I know there was more than 20 lifetimes on that wall. Okay, so I've been recycled into many lives, into many lifetimes, under many circumstances, different races of being, okay? It was insane what I saw. I even went back to even seeing myself with like clothes with like leaves on them. You know, these are all pictures. I've been like someone who looks incredibly rich. I was this big, fat white woman. What I would say is like Roman or maybe Greek times. It was crazy. I was looking at all these images of all these different past lives that I've lived, right? And I'm instructed, you know, to just take it in and see, like, look how many lifetimes you live. Look how much you've been through. Look how many lessons and lifetimes you carry within yourself, within your genetic code, that you could use and utilize to help you to be the best version of yourself, right? Which we aren't taught to do. So this guided meditation continues, and it has me take a seat at this beautiful table, and I am to call forward, you know it, my higher being, my inner being, my source energy, whatever you call it. So I'm sitting there and I'm imagining, and this beautiful, beautiful, I can only describe it as melanated woman comes forward. And it's funny because her hair was flowing, wavy, big body. I wouldn't say tight curls or loose curls, just beautiful. Skin black as night, but also not. And her skin was just glimmering with like what I would describe as stardust. You know, she had these beautiful, bright brown eyes and these gorgeous white wings. White wings. What's wrong with me? These gorgeous, beautiful white wings, right? Totally gorgeous being, emanating all this beautiful light. She came in with this beautiful, beautiful white dress on. So you're going to just imagine the white wings, the white dress, and then on this beautiful black, sparkling like the sky skin, gorgeous being that is apparently my higher self. Now, I guess here you can see why I call myself the Black Fairy, because my higher self is literally this beautiful winged girl. And I always thought it was like crazy because she told me she was a fairy in this conversation, but not traditionally looking like the fairy. To me, it looked like angel wings. And it was funny because when I watched the movie Magnificent and she was a fairy with those big angel wings, I'm not going to go there, but it's, again, confirmation after confirmation, right? Because some of these movies are really just talking about different lifetimes, different times of being, where different species existed, and where even some stories of different planetary existences, right? Many of us, some of us, you know, have heard or even believe that, you know, our soul comes from somewhere else. Like we just incarnated here on this earth to experience what it is to be human, a part of humanity, to be human, right? And we wanted to experience that, so we reincarnated into these bodies to live that life, but aren't necessarily from this space and time and existence, we'll say, right? Some of you guys will know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys are probably like, you talking crazy, girl. But at the end of the day, this was my experience. This is how she came to me. Now, I'm not going to go over the whole conversation of what we said. I did journal that, and I did actually refresh my mind on what that was by rereading my journal before I did this video. But what I gathered from it that I can share is that she really just told me that, you know, the best version of myself is my decision. Like, she's there to help me, assist me. She is me. And that I'm able to embody her and her magic and her power and her essence at any given time. But I need to request it. I need to give permission. I need to be open to it. And that I had to really release a lot of pain and trauma that was no longer serving me if I intended to connect with her and utilize her to her full force and her full will. She did tell me as well, this will take time. This is not something that's going to happen to you overnight. This is not something that you're going to be able to just do off top. You've got to be open, you've got to be willing, you've got to do the work. And with that, you know, we left the conversation, we embraced each other, and I remember I started to cry, not just in the meditation space during this moment with my inner being in the space in my mind, but also physically in the real time I was crying. And I left and went back to where I came, again, through the door, through the portal, through the garden, back to my guardian angel who guided me back to the space and brought me back to the present moment of this time, space, and reality. And when that happened, again, I woke up and I began to cry even more. It was such an experience and an honor to be able to see myself in such a way, to see, you know, I guess what, at least how I envision my being. But from then on, I started calling myself the Black Fairy. You know, I started Black Fairy Tings. I started to move forward even more towards on my spiritual journey of just learning and relearning and honestly connecting and sometimes not connecting. It wasn't always the easiest to be connected to that source energy, especially when you've been disconnected for as long as I was. But it was an experience that I recommend. You know, there are thousands of videos to help you connect with your inner self. You don't need the one that I specifically used in order for you to connect. You can connect in your own way. Listen to what resonates with you. Search for what resonates with you. Choose something. Choose a few. I did a few before this particular one where I felt like, wow, this was a real connection. This was real. You know, at first, you know, it was hard for me at first. But then again, I was a newbie at meditation. I was a newbie at connecting, visualization, all these things that I was exploring and really not sure of what I was doing. So with that being said, you guys, that is the story of me meeting my inner being for the very first time. It was a beautiful experience. It was one of the best things to happen to me. It helped me discover that freedom is strength. It definitely increased my intuitive abilities, my psychic abilities, which we all have. I say that all the time. We all have them. We just don't practice using them, but we all have them. And these exercises will help strengthen them. Just connecting to pure source energy, right? Because your higher self is that connection to pure source energy. So you'll know it if you do decide to, you know, take on and embark on this path of connecting with your inner being in such a way. You will know it because you will feel that source energy of love. It's undeniable. It can't be mistaken. For those of you who have felt it, you know what I mean. For those of you who haven't, you might be like, and last but not least, it just helps you on your journey of becoming the best version of yourself. I'm super proud of, you know, the time I took to do it and the time I took to connect and how I keep connecting and keep getting better and stronger. And I encourage you, if you're on that journey, to do the same. I love you. I believe in you. You've got this. That is the story of me meeting my inner being for the first time. I will talk to you guys soon.